This movement class was something that I decided to do more for actually my father while talking with him about some physical things that he's working with. And I realized that I've also been working with those same movement and physical patterns and traits. I wanted to create something that he could do and follow along on his phone or iPad or computer to help him work with stuff that he wasn't aware about, because it's a lot of what I've been studying and I am more aware about. And then I figured if I was going to make it for him, why not offer it up to numerous people? Because it could be very helpful. Their practices we're not so familiar with. They're almost opposite to a lot of what we've been taught about how to move and how to be. While these are meant specifically for my father, anyone can join, and I hope they provide benefit and ease in your movement and your sitting and just your general well-being patterns. I hope they help with your movement patterns, with any chronic pain, with postural issues from sitting or just lifestyle. It's geared towards all that. And so while the main focus is for my father, who I love and want to help, it'll be helpful for most people in so many ways. So leave comments to tell me what's working and what else you'd like to work with. That being said, we're going to meet on our backs lying on the mat shortly, and I'll see you there. So we'll start in a lying down position with our knees bent. And the first thing we'll do is just allow our body to drop into the ground. Letting the ground support the weight of the body so your body can drop down and let go of even more tension that it may be holding. On the inhale, we can even feel like the back of the body can reach into the ground to help fill the front of the body up with air. And just take a note of what is on the ground or what you are feeling on the ground underneath you. You may have all of your back on the ground, or you may have only parts of it. There is no right or wrong in this. There's only what is in your awareness. And you can take your arms and slowly lift them up to the sky. And just feel the weight of the arms dropping down through the shoulder blades into the earth. And just keeping the hands there, so we don't need to hold them up. We can just let them drop down. And when we're here with the hands, we can also slowly lift one knee slightly up into the air. And then let that foot come down. And then the other one. It doesn't matter which one comes first, right or left. Just lifting one up and then the other. And noticing as you lift one knee up, what is happening in the rest of your body. So most likely, for right here, I'm going to lift my right knee up. When I lift my right knee up, I get a little more weight into my left foot. And I roll slightly onto my left part of my pelvis, just slightly, in order for me to stabilize. And you can inquire up all the way. So, well, when I do that, what's happening in the torso, in the neck, and even maybe in the back of the head. And with the arms up here, you may also get a little bit of awareness of what's happening in the shoulders. And then let the arms go down. Let the knees relax so we're no longer lifting them up. And just take a few breaths here. And also noticing when you have a few breaths here, how's the body feeling? Does it feel similar to how it was when we started, or does it feel like it's able to also release a little more into the ground? Let's let the arms come back up. And this time we're going to actually raise the arms a little bit up, or we'll do one at a time. So similar, we can take one arm. I'm going to start with my right here. And what would it be like if I could just reach my right arm a little bit more? And then let it come down. Then the left. And down. Going through both sides a few times. One arm up slightly. And then down. And the other one. So again, while you're doing this, inquiring in a little more. Sort of noticing where are you reaching from. You can reach from your fingers. I'll show you I can reach from my fingers. I can also reach from my chest. There's reasons to both of them. A lot of times we're moving unawarely. I'm going to say reach from our fingers and let the fingers lead through the chest and then maybe lower. But first, just start to check what is your habitual way of moving. And also noticing as you raise one hand and then the other, what's going on in the body. Is there a extra tension in the hips, lower back, feet, neck? For example, when I reach my left arm here, I am stabilizing a little more with my right foot, my right pelvis. Interestingly, right now on my right side, I'm also using my right foot and right pelvis. So that tells me there's an imbalance somewhere that is for me to work with. Now when I use my left hand, I'm activating my left foot a little more. Noticing how when you do this, for example, your right shoulder comes up, your right ribs are going to start to rotate as well. So your left side of the body will take a little bit more of the weight. And then let the arms come down. Take another little break here. And breathing in and out. And using this as a chance to inquire inwards and building up that interoception of what is happening within your body space. Does it feel, as in the beginning, different, and always welcoming a space of unsurety, vulnerability, and not knowing, and being in the space of, well, I don't know. We're going to keep the arms on the ground for this time. And let's let the knees just drop over to one side. So for here, I'm dropping over to my right side. And then I'm going to come up through the center and over to my left side. Again, go through slowly, side to side. And we have more of a chance to be curious and be interoceptive. And so as the knees come up, we can start to look, where are we moving from? Are we moving from the pelvis, the knees, or the feet, or somewhere else? And as we move, noticing the surfaces under the feet, under the knees, thighs, and the hips and lower back, and how there's a shifting, rocking happening here. So for example, the next time when I'm going to bring my knees from my right to my left, I have an option. I can reach my left foot a little down, let the movement initiate from the foot, noticing that as I press into that foot, my whole leg will start to move. The knee will come up, the pelvis will start to roll back on the ground as it was lifted up. And the sacrum becomes level. And the weight of that leg drops over to the left, which pulls on the back of the pelvis and the sacrum, and eventually the right knee comes over as well. I could also move from the knee, so in this case, lifting my right knee up, imagining it's being lifted up above me, which is going to be an activation from both the foot and the back of the pelvis here. And coming over to the side. Another way of doing it would be bringing awareness to the back of the sacrum, and what would it be like if that rolled down? That becomes flat, and the momentum ends up bringing us over to the other side. So there's variables of playing from where to move. And I'll have you inquire into noticing just first, what is your habitual way of moving? And once you've kind of played with this a little bit, you can continue on the same way, or there's another variation we can do, which is as follows. So I'm on my left side. I'm going to use my foot as the navigator, slightly reach in, having the foot reach in, just bringing that right knee up. Bringing the right knee as far as it can. The left knee is still heavy. At some point, the right knee is going to drop down, and there's going to be a tensioning through my inner thighs, of which the left knee will rise because that pull is pulling it. The right thigh will come to the ground, and the movement is still going to be coming through that the left side will follow. Again, on the other side, the left leg will initiate. It's the foot gently pressing down, bringing it over. At some point, I reach the limit where my inner thighs are at their maximum tensioning. so that the weight of that left leg and the tension will start to pull the right. Now, I'm not lifting it actively. It's being lifted because of the tensioning in the body. So there's a big difference between me lifting the leg like this, right, and the tension being what lifts it, as opposed to an autonomic, cognitive way. This is letting the body move itself, using tensioning. So if it feels comfortable, a few times doing this, foot reaches into the ground to help bring the knee over to the side. And as you're doing this, also being aware of your sacrum on the ground. Noticing how, as you go from side to side, there's almost a rocking, sort of like a canoe in the water. And then finding your way slowly back up to center. Knees are bent, arms by the side again, and just lying here. Again, checking into how your body's feeling, checking into your breath. For example, for me, my breath has become much easier. Much more spacious as well. I can breathe gentler, easier, more expansive. The ground is supporting me to breathe even more, and I can drop even more into that earth. So let's combine the two movements together that we've been working with, the hands and the knees. Again, bring the arms up to the sky. And the knees are going to come over to the right, and as they do, the left hand will come up to the sky, getting a cross stretch. The knees will come up, arm comes down. Knees are pulling themselves up. As they come over to the left side, in this case, my right arm will come up. And we can move from both ways. So I can let my arm come down and noticing how that gives more space in my back to go up. And then as my knees come over to the left side, my left arm reaches up. And arms down. And I'm almost watching this pulse, I guess you could say, through my whole back. So when the knees come down, there's like a electric pulse running up to my right fingertips. And then as I let the arm come down, that pulse is going down my arm through the back, through the sacrum, over to the knees, and to the other side. And it's not a stretch, it's not an active, it's just a very light lifting. And the knees really almost are moving by themselves. It's not a very forceful, active. It's almost like they're doing what they know how to do best. And come back to center. Let the arms down. Let the whole body go down so the knees can bend. And staying here on the ground for a few moments. inquiring inwards, checking how the breath is, how the body is, how the mind is, all the usual places of inquiry. You can bend your knees. Let the knees fold over to the left or the right, either way. Bring the upper arm over. So we're in a fetal type position. From here, you can just use the hand almost as a bridge of which you can lean your weight into the ground more. And you notice how when you lean into the weight more, you're able to come up on your side. And from here, come up to sit. So this was a short, more somatic based, easy, gentle movement designed to help with our shoulder girdle and our pelvic girdle, with some tensions we may be unawarely holding, getting a little more freedom in that area. And it's something I'll say to practice a few times a week. It may seem very easy, that's the point. Hopefully you're noticing differences afterwards than from before. And if not, take your time. This is a different way than we've mostly been taught how to feel, how to move. And so, like most things, the beginnings can be a little challenging. What's happening? I don't get it. But stick with it, and I promise it does get easier. I'm going to try to make a bunch of these. These are ideally designed more for my dad to help with some things he's working with. But I figured, why not offer it out to everyone? Because everyone can use this. They've been very helpful for me, and I hope they're helpful for you. So I'll work on releasing some more in the next few days, weeks, months. To find out more, you can always click the like button, the subscribe button, leave comments, that whole usual rigmarole. And I'll see you in our next class. Bye.